I was more worried than before. So right now I would like to ask for your consultation.
It's okay, it's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
because
what
like
what are the things that you worried with?
because I was worried that my concept was wrong, or my design was not really what it's needed.
Okay.
And then I was worried that there was like how sir just now you mentioned that like some students might copy, or like plagiarize, or like they copy without even noticing and all that. So
Yeah, yeah.
I was worried in this kind of
Did, did,
situation.
did you actually do the same thing?
No, actually, I changed I changed quite a lot of, not a lot lah, but I changed a bit lah.
Change a bit. For
Yeah,
example?
because uh the design, the character is based on myself, but
Okay.
it's human, and then I thought of the storyline, and then I would like to use a little bit of clown, inner clown kind of character, but I don't really want it to be a exact clown, just like a few characteristic there, because like for me, clowns have like two sides. They have like a very happy side, a very bright, but they also have a very dark side that which people don't really know. So I would like to put this kind of concept into my picture book. So I'm still kind of designing how the character would look like. I would change like maybe when I design the first character, okay, the clothing is like that, the hairstyle is
Mm,
like that. But
mm.
then when I design the second character, I would like, okay, maybe the clothing would be better if it's like that. So and then I change like that.
Okay. Those are the normal process that we actually have.
Yeah,
We will go through when we design things then.
yeah.
So one of the most important thing that you need to provide for your presentations later on, right? It's all it's all about your progress there, okay? Whatever that you have been developed there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
For past few days or for past few kind of hours or days there, okay? You just have to provide for your presentation there, right? Okay, just to have a proof that you have been developed a few kind of ideas, even though you haven't decided yet, right? So
Okay.
what are the most common things that happen for the past few days, as I actually raised in our meeting just now, okay, in our lecturing class, because the student only provide one or two drawings there, then they want to ask me on the advice, okay? So basically, if you guys just provide me only one, right? Okay, for example, like you, right? Okay, what I actually can see from your samples is I would assume that you actually can draw based on your drawing strokes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that I cannot actually have a lot of satisfying, okay, or more kind of information, okay, is where you can go from there. What basically going to be after that, right? What are the basically your progression that will develop from there that can be a part of the main kind of result that we can use to finalize them. Understand what I mean there? So
Yeah.
those kind of things I cannot actually assume there. I cannot actually judge from there, right? So I cannot actually give more kind of uh, what we call that, some sort of advice or ideas, okay, that we can develop from here, okay. But what I actually can understand from what you do, all right, of course, okay, you want to create yourself as a character there, so you as a subject matter there, and you want to combine also with a clown kind of concept, right? Okay, so a lady or woman or a personality of a clown there, okay, they have two sides of identity or emotions there, sad and happy, right? If you want to portray like a joker, for example, right, okay, in the outside, you want to show the characters look a little bit more happy, cheerful on the storyline, for example, there. But deep inside her, basically, what we call that personalities or mind kind of imagination or side directing, she has a very sad, lonely kind of what we call that feelings that actually been haunted her directly after all these years, for example. That kind of stories basically can be used. It's a common thing that can be related with a lot of people there. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people there, right? Okay? You can use this kind of concept, okay? You can go for it with this kind of concept. But the problem is when you design your characters, make sure, yes, you can use Joker as a part of the samples of the reference that you can actually drive your stories there. But you're not actually draw or not going to design a story as a Joker's characters or Harley Quinn kind of characters lah. Maybe you're not going to do it like more like a comic villain kind of stories there, right? Maybe a little bit more like a more like a real life kind of event there, okay, that you can actually provide for your story. I don't know that, okay, up to you guys, okay, up to you basically. But you can use all these kind of sources to influence your stories together. It's okay, no problem there. As long as you don't actually copy Joker as a characters or Harley Quinn as a part of the characters to your design. But the influence, right, the reference, you can actually use it as a part of your way to develop your own characters later on. Okay, so you can also search also on your side of your feeling, right? That you can actually visualize them, you can actually portray them on your own creativities that works that related to your samples that you have. For example, related with your reference that you have, okay, Joker wearing suit, Harley Quinn wearing a very like a circus kind of costume they may be, right, okay? But the new version of movie she used basically a very more like punk punk kind of what we call that kind of what we call that kind of fashions there, right? Okay, attires there, right? Okay, punk girl kind of attires, the alternative rock kind of things there, okay, they can be used. So if you want to go back into the traditional kind of clowns, you can actually do more research a bit on what are the clown costume there that can be used there, okay, as a part of your research. Because we have 7 different style or design based on one particular characters or particular subject matters there. You as one design are one particular characters that can be divided into 7 different styles there. Styles mean you can actually change the suits, change the attires, change the style of your physical itself there, okay? Right, to be more cartooning, more realistic, more semi-cartoon. It's all up to you guys, okay? How actually you
Okay.
style that, okay? So
Yeah.
those kind of things can be actually applied from your progress development. That's why some people ask me, okay, when they actually do at least 3 different positions for their characters, if they really decide want to use them, I will actually advise if you can draw 20 different action poses based on the same characters. Same characters, same design, same style. If you can draw them 20 different poses at least, then you say you're ready lah. You will know that you're actually ready to use them for your stories later on. Because when it comes to the stories, you will design your characters not only 1 or 2 page. Right. Normally in our presentation for stories there, storybooks there, okay, they will have around 12 pages. So in that 12 pages, some students, okay, previously they want to have a comic panel for some of the pages there. So that
Mm-hmm.
means you have to draw those characters in different kind of position, pose, and action pose there. Right? So you will redraw the whole characters back all over again. If you don't actually love and like to work with your design, with your characters, how actually you're going to draw them in different kind of poses, right? That's what this is the phase basically that I want to give you guys some understanding there. Even though The way that I explain by showing you guys the samples, right? I'm not written down all this kind of notes because I don't believe that, right? Okay? Note and visuals should work more better than the notes there. Notes, normally give notes, people don't read them there, right? Okay? I give previously all the details of those criteria of the brief. Students still ask me some of the basic questions. But I did show also them also how it works. But they still doesn't actually apply what I actually have done already. That's why I decide I give you guys a very simple brief just to guide you guys. And then your interaction with me, I'm going to explain a bit more already. Because why? Because in developing character design, whatever that you saw from the cartoon version, comic version, finished products, right? It's only a this is only for a user kind of viewers there, right? Okay? It's
Yeah.
basically it's a finished product, right? Okay? You don't actually know the process, right? The
Yeah.
hectic, right? The chaos that happens from those development there. So right now, basically you have that experience there. All that kind of feelings that you have is normal there, right? Okay? It's a normal thing.
Okay.
What makes people will move on and enjoy developing the process, not because they worried about the marks only, because you have been experienced and the thing that you really love to do that way. And if you actually look it into the bright side, if you really love comic and anime and you want to pursue yourself later on from that kind of directions, this is the best chances for you to experience that. Even though I not actually guarantee 100% that you will understand that, okay, because it takes also uh, time to digest all this information. Don't worry there. Right, you cannot actually what we call that push yourself everything to focus only for one subject only there, right? Okay, because you have also
Yeah.
a few subjects that you have to what we call that entertain and also commit, right? Okay, so gather some of the important things that can be provided for your understanding, right? At least you answered my questions. Like my question is okay, provide me some research, all right, for your presentations, all right, one
Yep.
pages for example there or 2 pages there for example, and then provide me some reference and some research based on your sketches. Research is all about sketches also. You
Yep.
draw a few kind of structures there, right? Okay. Then when you get that kind of understanding based from your studies, and then you turn out into a clean up line, right? Okay. But you haven't decided whether you're going to use this kind of design on it. That's why I give you guys one character design, 7 different styles. That means you have some option for you to choose later on, right? But if you just draw one design for one characters for one particular style, and then you're going to draw another 7 different characters for your stories, you don't have time to choose. You do
Mm-hmm.
what there's the only one, and then you think this is the one for you, but later on when you want to draw for your books, for example, because right now some people doesn't have any ideas there. What kind of story is there? How many pages there? That how many drawings they're going to be involved, right? Okay. But if you don't actually focus more on developing these characters there first, one particular characters there first, okay, until you satisfy, even though some of the progress, right? There's some of the issues, some of the reasons, what we call situations. Even though they have designed 7 characters, the productions line still doesn't work that way. They still develop until they have the right kind of answer. Because this kind of thing is very subjective in the way of developing them. But the only things that can make we choose the best one in terms of deadline, or maybe you have to decide right in the quick time tracking uh, which one is basically is suitable for you to use at that time at that moment first, right? Because for me, as long as this thing is not actually is a part of the real job, right? It's a part only for the assignments. They always have a room for you to input. They always do. You have to think like that. There's always room for us to improve there.
Yep.
Because this is not a client's job. You actually to be your own client there. I'm actually one of the producers, or maybe one of the what we call that uh, what we call the decision makers for your work there. Okay, for example, the decision maker. Okay, you submit, I give those marks, and then you actually can move on into another phase there, right? But you yourself as a part of clients, and whatever that you do, you can decide also with me. If you ask me, you can decide with me like, okay, which one is suitable for you to make your decision there, right? If you don't have me, for example, so some of your students they don't want to they want to consult with me, they make their own decisions. My job is just to give those marks. That's all. Right. In the end of the deadline lah, right? Because there's nothing much I can actually comment unless if I saw some of the flawless kind of presentation. For example, obviously, right, when I saw students draw in the wrong way, obviously I can say you have to improve your drawing skills as well. Character design can be improved later on there. If drawing skills, the strokes, the pressure point, the structures, the proportions, the alignments is not right, everything's are going to be bad. Right? Everything's not going to be right.
Mm-hmm.
It's no point if you can draw some sort of like a very any kind of great concept of fantasy, but the styles doesn't work in the right way, everything doesn't work. So whatever that whatever great style or for example like if the student want to draw some heavy machine war robot kind of stories for example right okay? But when they design the works looks a bit more like it doesn't have that kind of levels there. Right. Everything's are not going to be right. Okay? Everything's are going to be off the right way. There's no point. Because why the drawing skill is not right? Right. You draw like a kids, for example, spontaneously, not planning to be. If you plan to draw like kids, it's okay. I can accept it. Right. Because why? Because that's what your concept is. Your illustration is very is quite free kind of concept that you guys can apply to any kind of style you want. But of course, no one actually want to draw like kids at the moment. Right. Unless that person really cannot draw. Right. For some, most of people's writing who believe they actually can draw, but some of them actually have the very limited kind of skill. They always want to draw like professional kind of designers there. But the point is right now, they don't learn to develop their understanding from the foundations that is. We don't actually focus a lot on the foundations, right? Because 14 weeks time, 14 weeks time there, right? You have to remember that, right? And you have also different kind of subject that you have to commit them. So we have to be smart with it. My job is to give you guys, right, as much as exposure that I can. Exposures for you to be aware, okay, for the next semesters or to the difference with the next level of semesters, what basically you need to prepare. The first thing that we need to prepare is how to sketch in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the first thing there, right? Okay? Right. If you cannot sketch in the right way, if you cannot control your line in the right way, if you don't know how to develop a very good kind of basic structured foundations kind of line in the right way, everything doesn't work well. You guys will learn only to use tools from the software, right? Okay? The only thing that you have. Because I've seen a lot of students who learn only using tools. This is what I actually saw from the student, right? The presentation of their design look like using PowerPoint there, right? Even though you're using After Effects, you're using Adobe Animate, using any kind of Adobe Premiere for your works there, right? The design senses, the design fundamental senses, element and principle of design kind of understandings are going to be around 0% there. I think it's very poor kind of understanding there. I try not I try to train you guys not to be that kind of value of students there, okay? The quality of students there. Because I want you guys to be aware about your mistake first, aware about what basically you can actually provide, try to develop your creativities based on the tool that we use here right now. So that's why I really push basically on the foundation a bit, and by the same
Mhm.
time, on the discipline on doing that. Okay,
Okay.
those are the things that I actually uh, concerned about it, okay? Because after these few years, I think around 8 years there, okay, I'm in the TAUC there, okay. I've seen a lot of good presentation, good kind of works on the students there, but I don't actually have a lot of worried about someone who actually can independently can learn and also have their own kind of driven themselves to motivate themselves to develop their skills there. But what I've been worried there, okay, not because of anything there, because some of the students who actually what we call that uh, continue their study in degree they were okay, but these kind of students they study degree because first of all good because you guys can actually get more kind of next level certificate for your portfolios there.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is right now when you study degree but you still cannot draw and sketch well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Right. What's the
Yeah.
point of it, okay? Because you don't actually upgrade yourself. You only upgrade maybe you knowing how to use the tools
Yeah.
in those applications, but the core foundation of design, when people ask you guys or your lecturer asks you to, because degree students normally they have to do final year projects on their own. Diploma students basically you have the chances to work with groups, but for me, my kind of advice to FYP student with diploma, if you can work on your own, it's more better. Why? Because you can actually, you know basically all the in and out of your development process of your final year project. Nowadays, even though you want to work with your video project, right?
Yeah.
It's like a video project, for example, right? Or video making or video kind of productions there. You can do it on your own there. You can become your own directors,
Mm-hmm.
like a vlog there, right? You can become your own directors, your own cameraman, your own editors,
Yeah.
your own visual effects, everything your own there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How? Everything is actually provided here right now. You know everything what you do, right? Okay? And later on, when you want to go outside there to promote your works, people will ask you one thing: what is your job for your works there? But Malaysian normally, okay? Malaysian, typical Malaysians, they want they want people who actually can multitasking. They can multitask directly. That means you can
Uh-huh.
video editing, you can do video effects, you can do animations a bit, you can do some illustration, drawing, and design there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah. Yeah.
can't. This is what actually happens in Malaysia. There. Why?
Yeah.
Because company want to cut the cost there, right? Okay. And of course, if you can do more jobs, you can demand more. Easy for you to demand more there, right? Okay. And some more, okay, you know how to lead people later on, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not actually going to be a designer for the rest of your life. That if you know a lot of in and out of your productions works, right? The good thing is you can lead people more better, right?
Yeah.
Those are the reasons there, right? So for me, right, okay, back to our presentations, okay. Just like I told you before, and also the rest of your friends, right? Provide me your reference, your finding reference, okay. If you want to go through with that, you can see my screen there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Clown, for example, there. Clowns, right? This there, okay. Design, right? You see how many character design they have there, right? Okay. You can actually use it as a part of your guideline reference to work with it. Okay. Even though the element that you saw, you can actually redraw and you use that right, for example.
Mhm.
And then when you have this kind of finding there, gather some of the information that you see, that you saw is quite interested for you, right? Interesting for you to work there. Then you put it into your pages there, okay? It works. All right. And the other thing is, okay, clowns characters, okay, real life clown there, okay. So take a look back again, real life clown there, okay. How actually can work on that? What are some of the character designers do normally, okay? When they have their own photos, for example, like example, I'm going to use, right, let's just say these photos. Let's just say this is
Mhm.
right, okay. What we can do from here? Sometimes we can actually provide also some sample of sketches there. I think like we do some image manipulation on ourselves there. Right. We can do some image manipulation on ourselves there like this. Right. Because to develop ideas, it doesn't have to be. Sometimes you can actually manipulate those images there later. I think you can actually provide right different kind of way of working there. I think up to you guys. I think that works. So what I can do from here, right? I can actually provide also some paint job directly based on the studies directly on the characters itself. Right. I draw myself as a clown there, paint myself as a clown here like this there, right? Using lasso tools, right? Using different kind of methods there, right? Like I can use um, like level, sorry there, right? What basically you have done in image manipulations?
Actually, Miss
Okay.
Poon taught us all the tools already.
Okay. What kind
Yeah.
of what we call that exercise or assignment that you have done there, right?
We actually don't have any exercises. We have only three assignments, and then we've done the first assignment, which is location transformation, using Photoshop. But the second assignment, we have to use illustration.
Okay. Well, what type of illustration that you have to do?
Uh, Character design.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Right.
character
So
illustration.
hmm, that means that you actually have, you can actually connect it with what
Yeah,
we've done right now. There, right?
yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, those are the good thing there, right? Okay. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
like, I can actually play around with my own face, for example, like, just to give some sort of ideas there before I will redraw them back into my own design there, okay? My own character design there, for example, like this, right? So I can actually provide like a good, and let's just say this is your face, for example.
Mm-hmm.
What it can do, uh, if you check through there right now, okay, this is actually beyond what we actually have been go through in our classroom there. Why? Because I'm using different kind of methods that get to develop ideas there. Because I would
Okay.
just want to give you guys, I just want to give you basically some different ideas there, how actually I developed some of the ideas, okay, how we actually write, not me there, okay, sometimes I'm not using this one, okay. I'm using different kind of methods to develop my kind of understanding there, right, to work with my ideas there. So, different kind of approach there on the works there. Okay, yeah. So this is basically only a part of those learning, right? Okay, develop this kind of studies on those characters there. So the hair may be a little bit more like, I don't know, maybe like this, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Curly kind of hair there, right? Okay. So the neck's a bit more longer there, okay? then we have a dress maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, something like that. So based on the photos that we have, I provide basically a design for the characters there. Right, it can be. But of course from here you have to study back again, right? The basic structures there that can provide from those designers again, because right now you draw three-quarter view how actually this character going to be worked in front view, and then later on side profiles there towards the shapes of the eyes there. From here basically it came from, okay, the shapes from the side profiles are going to be a little bit more like these eyes. This all this kind of thing has to be taken care of, okay? Have to be taken care of, okay? So this is basically the studies lah. So the nose, right, and then the lip itself, right.
Yeah.
So all this kind of understanding came from your development process there. Right now I draw her from side profile. They have to be in the same kind of understanding there. If you take a look at this girl, okay, this side and this side is almost the same. Right. So this is one of the good thing about when we actually know what actually we want for our design there. Okay. If you want to use this kind of methods of working, right? Right. If you don't, I think I already draw from your sample there, okay, right? Where is it? Let me check. Uh, this one, okay. This is basically from your ideas before, right?
Okay.
So, so from here, this is the line. I can provide more kind of what we call that sample theory. So let us see. Okay, this is the nose of the clown. So what else there? Okay, some makeup there, right? Okay, the the hair I can actually readjust them, right, to create a different kind of way, right? Okay, different kind of styles there if I want to, there, right? Okay, I don't know, right? Okay, it's up to you, right? How is it? Right? Okay, maybe. Um, this one looks a bit more like an auntie, right? Right. Right. I don't know, Ravi. Up to you how actually you're going
Yeah.
to work there, right? So
Okay.
you have to do a bit more research, okay, which one, okay, because if you take a look at Harley Quinn, right, she has a very like a tight kind of hair, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right, Harley Quinn there. Or maybe she has a two ponytails there, okay? Two ponytails there, okay, on their on her hair there, okay? Yeah. So Harley Quinn basically has a ponytail, two ponytails. So what they can do, or maybe she's wearing a like this there, okay?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So, up to you, right? How actually going to work. You have to develop like again your practice there, right? Either she's wearing a very short, right? But combining with some boots there, maybe, right?
Mhm.
So it's all depending there, okay? How actually going to, or she's wearing a very big kind of boots there, just like the clowns kind of boots there, right? All this kind of costume design, right, okay, is were based on your kind of imaginations, but based on research there, right?
Okay.
I have to provide that, okay? Anything else there?
No, actually, I'm not gonna say I'm very clear, but at least I have a path.
Okay, yeah. It's not basically, right, okay, if you actually have have a lot of interest on those developing this kind of methods of working with those designers. It's going to be interesting, because my times I don't have this kind of privilege because we basically we don't actually have this kind of graphic design kind of lessons there, okay, in
Mm-hmm.
my times there. So I kind of learn from my experience on working, but before I do the work, I also have those major kind of interested in innovations there. So I kind of learning back again on myself, find the books, get some mentor there, okay, and do a lot of works, okay, for other people there, and then I learn from working experience there, right? And then learning also from working experience there, okay. But you guys have that privilege to develop this kind of understanding in the early stage there. So it's very good chances there, okay, for you guys to work right in the futures to be more better than me there, okay, right. So up to you, right. So, anything you want to show the progress on, right? You just pass me there, right, okay? If you have
Okay.
small little progress that you have been developed, don't be hesitate to just to throw me there, okay? Those kind of samples, right?
All right. It's just that like because like we have to use gesture lines and then shapes to form different designs of character, right? But different shapes actually give people a different kind of feeling of the character.
Yeah,
Like the circle is more friendly and soft,
yeah,
and then do I have to, if I want to demonstrate my character is a bit friendly or funnier, should I like all of my designs I use just circles, or I can use different shapes as well?
all right. If you take a look back again on the working on the shapes there, right? So
Uh-huh.
if you at least if you want to draw, all right, the characters based from triangle, for example, and you combine also with circles there, right? So the connections, right? Even though you try to draw ladies with these kind of shapes,
Uh-huh.
what basically you have in mind here? Your kind of feelings when you see this kind of characters there. What she looks like.
A villain actually.
Yes, right. But if you use circle, for example, right,
Yeah.
like this, right, small a little bit there, right, but has a big head there, for example, there, right. Okay, even though the same characters,
Mm-hmm.
right. What do you think about it?
Looks
Look
more,
more
yeah,
friendly there, but
yeah,
if you actually change
facial expression.
the facial expressions, they become different. All right,
Yeah,
but the overall looks are going to be more friendly. This one a bit more villains there. Same
yeah,
goes to square. For example, you want to experiment with square. All right, because this kind of studies, basically, not a lot of people brave enough to develop this kind of studies because why? Because they don't actually they always thought that everything that they draw has to be everything has to be look perfect, okay? But the good kind of studies of characters normally you're brave enough to experiment with different kind of shapes there.
okay.
Right. You see that right there? Different look mean look a bit more like straight, awkward, naive kind of characters and a little bit kind of maybe has a villain kind of feel there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mean kind of thing, but still more a bit more naive, more straight kind of person. So shapes will actually affect also your kind of what you call that emotions or
Yeah.
personality of your characters there. Even though okay, let's just say some people like to draw a chibi characters there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they draw a very simple kind of chibi characters like this, right? Okay. So it's also a different kind of style there. It's a different kind of style, right? but it will show also your bright side of personality if you want. But the only things that have made the difference sometimes, right? For example, is the way that you design the eyes there.
Yeah.
Okay, the eyes itself, okay? They're going to be fine. They're going to define also different kind of personalities there. So
Okay.
do a bit kind of research, because what basically I want to see from the students is how they're constructing the line there. Okay, because why? When you construct the line, you can see the directions of the characters where they want to go from there, and we can see also the understandable of the designer itself, whether the student actually really understand what they do or not. Okay, from those line there. Okay, you can see my line again. You can see those kind of where the direction I can go from there. Right. Split seconds, you understand whether this person actually know what he's doing or not. Because the problem when I saw, because this also really takes time here. When you draw what we call your line a bit more off like this, okay, for example, there I saw some of the students. Obviously, we can see the student doesn't know what they do, what they actually doing there. Okay, they just actually just draw just for the sake of to answer the questions, but the answer is not right. Okay, uh, you understand what I mean there? You just hantam the right. They just right hantam of this kind of thing. Okay, but you don't actually understand what basically why you should do that. Okay, but this kind of things takes time. There, okay, right?
Okay.
Especially uh, for some of the students, right? They have a zero kind of understand knowledge. So, like, those are the challenges that you have, lah. For me, those are the challenges that I have, right? Okay? To change person kind of mindset is not easy, right? Unless that person allows themselves to change. Okay,
Okay.
right? Anything else?
Uh, I don't think so. I think I just need time to digest and just experiment myself.
Yeah, the best way that Marissa, I think what you can do, just let it flow first, sketch it out. Don't worry too much there.
Yeah.
If you have the concept inside of you, you just let it out first. I
Okay.
don't look for the sometimes maybe right. This is only uh, my kind of observation there. When you actually present your works, I think you always want to present the thing actually almost completely right. Right.
Yeah.
You don't like to present rough sketch kind of.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes you have to really complete. It takes time there. But if you can show me some rough ideas like this, it's more better.
Okay.
Because if you sketch it out like that, it's more quicker. That's why we have to use those sketcher line drawings there, or
Okay.
construction line there. Because why? Your construction line, when I saw that, okay, is still in control there.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You understand that anatomy is there, okay? But what you can do right now, just let loose a bit, let loose a little bit, there, okay? If you let
Okay.
loose a bit, if you get used to let loose all this kind of burden inside you when you sketch it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your sketches, your idea will flow more better. Because why?
Okay.
Because you don't have to worry about final life testing yet. Sometimes you can be sure some finalization like me there, okay? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm also when I do those demonstrations, I'm I'm actually try to against or try to fight also with my time there, right? Okay, I try to compete with my time there. So what basically I done there, okay? If you take a look, we'll see there, okay? When I actually design, okay, these characters there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not actually complete, but I try to complete them just to present it to your friends, right? Okay? But when I actually develop my breakdown sketches, right, a lot of things is not finished there. Okay, you see that? It's not
Yeah.
finished there. This is not my drawing there, but this one, okay, it's not finished there. But with the time that I have, because I want to present at that times, I just complete one position first, just to
Mm-hmm.
give some ideas there. Okay, this is the one that actually my ideas where you want to be. Because from here, if I want to go through back again, I can do a lot more details later on. Right. So that's why try to let loose a bit. Okay. That's what I say at the in our class there.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, what we call that? If you guys don't have enough time to complete, right? To complete, right? To complete all the, of course you have to present all those seven drawings, all
Yeah.
seven stuff. But
Mm-mm.
if those drawings haven't completed, that means it's in the progress there. We can see your efforts when you develop in that. Just present it first.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Because we were like my group was like very because we have a lot of assignments coming,
Yeah.
like our main subjects and MPU and all that. All the all the assignments are coming, and then we have not finished this illustrations work, and then we were all very nervous and all. And then we have actually, like, before, we have actually have no idea on how to work it. Like, it's like we don't really understand, or we don't really have that right concept, so we don't dare to even draw,
Mm.
because we're afraid that we would draw wrongly or something. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I understand that,
everyone's a
right?
bit worried like right now.
Yeah.
I'm speaking for like for my group lah. We're
Yeah.
all very worried.
Now you understand, right, how it works then.
Yeah, I understand.
One of the best way, right, if you can actually provide some sort of uh, your kind of sample to them, okay, so they can actually follow you as a part of their leaders there, for example, right, okay, speakers there, okay, representative there, okay, is more better because why? Because sometimes if you can be a part of those samples there, right, to them, right,
Mm-hmm.
in your level of students there, okay, so they have more confidence there, right,
All right.
more
Yeah.
confidence to present your work as well, and also you can also speak for me, right,
Yeah.
in your own language, right, in your own kind of levels there, right,
Yeah.
okay? Because I understand, right, okay, because this is something a little bit kind of quite a culture shock for you, okay, right? Right. Quite shocked that, oh, suddenly like that, okay? We never thought that, okay? We never thought that this thing are going to be happen like this, that I
Yeah.
understand only that, okay?
Yeah.
But basically, it's my job to give you guys also this kind of pushing kind of things there,
Yeah.
pushing to the
But they actually also understand that
mm,
that you're just doing good for us. They
yeah.
also understand that.
Because it's my job basically to push yourself,
Yeah.
push us there, right? So
Yeah.
that means don't be afraid there, okay, to ask the questions. Sometimes I will hush you a little bit, rush you a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a part of the process of learning there, right? Because outside there it's more crucial there. So if you cannot get used to this kind of what we call that tensions or environments there or energies there, right? Okay, uh, that's why there's a lot of people they don't actually cook enough there, okay? Because they don't build those confidence from there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can actually explain to them, if you guys smart enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you guys smart enough that don't look for the sample that you feel comfortable that you want to draw only. For example, right? Some people say because you guys have been born, right? A lot of people, right? Okay, you've been born to see all this kind of this one,
Yeah.
this kind of design there, right?
Yeah.
So each one of you guys will basically think, I want to draw like this, I want to draw like
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
I want to draw like this, right?
Yeah.
You have that mindset with you, right?
Yeah.
Right. Right. Believe me, not everyone can draw like that. If you don't actually put and sacrifice your times, your efforts to develop that kind of stuff, they will take a lot of time there.
Okay.
But the best way in illustrations, seek for more conceptual kind of graphic design there. I think. For example, like John Bergerman, or maybe okay. Like mm, this is also one of the illustrators, the Jeremy Hills there. See his drawings there. Look like a Smurf drawing there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
This is also part illustration there, part character design illustration there, right? So this one basically also can be part of your character styles approach that it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have to work smart to work with it, okay? Or you can search for modern illustration style. I think I already show you guys also this one, I think, in the early stage there.
Yeah.
If you watch it back again, okay, all these kind of styles of illustrations there. But of course, alignment, proportion, balance has to be in the right kind of structures there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before you're going to simplify the styles there, okay? But I cannot actually go into deep each different styles there because why? Because at the moment, because right now you have to focus on how to develop your drawing skills there. Everyone there, okay? But if you take a look there, okay, in the styles there, look simple, look easy to approach them. But the problem is if no one actually understands the right kind of proportion, the whole thing doesn't look right. Okay? But you guys have a lot of options for you to go, right, to go from here. Simple characters like this also there, okay? But the right kind of proportion there. Using the right kind of shapes that you would. I can accept this kind of style, then I will use this kind of style if I cannot draw well, right? And of course, okay, because to change people's mind is not that easy. Though, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is like a wood block kind of character, right? Using AI, adapt illustrators to works, but it's a very unique kind of style. For me, I love this kind of style. Okay? But problem is your mindset change from mediocre, normal kind of students or people who actually know about design, but someone who actually have different kind of point of view of design. This is also illustration there. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's also part of illustration there, right?
Yeah.
If you guys actually want to explore this kind of styles, go ahead for our character design kind of works. But you have to study back again, right? You have to study
Yeah.
back again, all right? How to design this character there. For example, here, right? How to design this characters, we still have to go through with basic structures, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There, simple there. Right? It looks simple there, right? But they will show a lot of different kind of methods that it works. What else there? Here? But I don't know whether you guys actually accept this kind of style there. For example, already.
Yeah.
But study first this character there. Mm. Then when you put some colors, for example here, right, green color for the hair. Okay. The color is also a little bit more off there, right? Okay? But whatever that you do some research a bit. Take a look back again, copy the styles, or not copy the drawing, copy the
Yeah.
styles, and put it in your works, for example, right? Okay? So not all people actually can change easily their mind to use different kind of styles of work. But this one can be part of illustration work. If you present it in a different way, if you look into different way, because why? We go back into our element and principle of design. It has a line that defines shapes of the characters there. And also they define also the colors there, part of the elements there. And also form, balance, harmonies, flows there. Everything was there. Right. But the only thing that we actually can improve, the line, the strokes, the proportions, right? Draw a bit, complete the what we call that, the leg, for example, there, right? Uh, right. If I want to draw the legs like this, also can if I want to. Right. But you have to explain also in the right way lah, it works. Right. So
Yeah.
it's up to you how actually going to work that. But either you guys really open enough your mind to different kind of options, so that's another story. Okay?
Okay.
So you can see that there's a lot of, this is like around 60s, 70s, 80s kind of cartoon, Saturday cartoon kind of what we call that animated series. So illustration has to be more, I think. I think I'm going to give, basically I want to give also this kind of lecturing before that, okay, but I'm going to extend a little bit, okay, after we actually have complete these assignments there, okay, these assignments. Next week, I'm going to give also some of the exposures on different kind of styles of illustration that we can go from there. All right. So
Okay.
hopefully you guys can have more kind of ideas and options that will work. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Understood.
Anything?
No, not really. I think that's it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So